My entire life and relationship of 4 years unraveled in a single message from the man I loved, who planned a future with me, proposed trips, spoke of marriage, and called me his best friend, all while cheating behind my back repeatedly, and without a single sign. My partner, male 36, and I, female 31, had been together for 4 years. We'd had our ups and downs like anyone else, but I truly believed we were in a strong, committed relationship. Over the past year, he'd been dealing with a legal dispute with his former employer. It had been a constant presence in our lives. He was stressed, withdrawn at times, but I tried to be supportive, even when I didn't understand all the details. Yesterday, I received a letter from his previous employer's legal team. It wasn't entirely unexpected. We had been told that I might be contacted to preserve any relevant evidence related to the case. What I didn't expect, however, was that they also included a copy of the court filing. When I told my partner I'd received the letter and the filing document, his reaction was immediate and intense. He called me right away. He's working away at the moment, and the first thing he said was, "Delete it. Delete the email and delete it from your deleted items, too." He said his solicitor had instructed that, so I wouldn't have to engage with the request. The way he said it, so quickly, without even asking what I'd seen, it set off alarm bells in my head. It wasn't just about not engaging. It felt like he didn't want me to see something. Once we ended the call, I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I read through the court filing. That's when I saw it. In black and white, an admission that he had engaged in a romantic relationship with another employee while working there. My stomach dropped. I knew immediately who it was. Back in 2023, I had started noticing this one woman popping up a lot. She was always in the background of his work trips, client dinners, hotel lobbies, blurry Instagram stories. Something in my gut just didn't feel right. He'd travel regularly, and when he came home, he would tell me about everything, the meetings, the food, even the arguments. But he never once mentioned her. Not even in passing. I kept an eye on her Instagram quietly, not even sure what I was looking for. But I noticed it, same cities, same dinner spots, same nights. Still, I brushed it off. Maybe it was just coincidence. Maybe I was being paranoid. Then, in December 2023, we went to New York together. One night while we were walking back to the hotel, he brought her up out of nowhere. Told me a random story about her messy situation with her ex-husband, how she smoked loads of weed, and that she had a lazy eye. I remember it vividly because it struck me as odd. He rarely, if ever, badmouthed anyone. Even people who clearly annoyed him, he'd speak about them diplomatically. But this time, it was different. It felt like he was trying to plant a very specific image in my mind. Someone chaotic, unattractive, and undesirable. And now, knowing what I know from the filing, I can't help but wonder if that was part of his cover. Maybe he thought that if he portrayed her in a negative light, I'd never suspect he had feelings for her. But I did suspect. My instincts weren't wrong. I just didn't have the proof until now. In August 2024, I found out they were both in Sydney on a work trip. Before he left, I'd gone through his messages. Yes, I know how that sounds. But I had this gnawing feeling in my gut that something wasn't right. His messages to her, on Slack and WhatsApp, were all dry, professional. Nothing to worry about, right? But when he returned, I checked again. Every message between them was gone. Completely wiped. That alone might not have been damning, but coupled with the way he acted when I gently asked about it, I knew something was off. He didn't get angry, per se, but defensive in a way that made me feel like I was the one doing something wrong. I confronted him calmly, asking why those messages were deleted. I told him my gut wouldn't settle, and that something about her presence in our lives didn't sit right with me. He spun it around, saying that after everything he'd done for me, planning this elaborate trip for my birthday, paying for most of it, loving me all these years, how could I accuse him of something like this? That conversation ended with me in tears and him holding me, asking me to trust him. That was the last time she was mentioned. Then came this month. Because of the ongoing legal case against his former employer, we had agreed to remove everyone from that company off our social media. A fresh start, he'd said. I watched him scroll through Instagram and remove names. When he reached her, I noticed something strange. There were 2 women with the same first name, A. He removed one, but not the other, the one I had long suspected. I asked him why, and he said, "Sorry, I didn't realize." But that didn't make sense. If you're searching a name and 2 people with the same name show up, why would you remove one and ignore the other? And then, yesterday, everything changed. After I received the court document attached to the letter sent to me as part of discovery, I read it. My heart dropped. Her name was in it. Not just her name, but references to a romantic relationship. That was all I needed. I found her profile and messaged her. I was prepared to hear that something had happened in late 2023, maybe early 2024, as the case document vaguely implied. But what she told me shocked me. She said they'd first slept together in May 2022. Miami. A work conference. I remember that trip so vividly, because I was there too. I had flown with him to Miami. We spent a few days there together, and then I flew home right before the conference started. He had only been with the company for a few weeks at the time. Apparently, that was all it took. She told me they'd met at that conference, clicked instantly, and that's when it happened. That trip was the same month I moved in with him. I had packed up my entire life, moved out of my flat, and into his house. Our house, I thought at the time. We even went on a weekend getaway right after Miami. All smiles and cocktails, while he carried the weight of a lie so easily that I never once doubted him. She went on to say that nothing happened between them again until May 2023, another work event. But she insisted that, while there were moments of flirtation, they had kept things professional, at least physically. I don't know whether I believe her. And honestly, it doesn't even matter. He had told me she was weird, that she smoked too much weed and had a lazy eye. Looking back now, that wasn't just random gossip. It was deflection. It was cruelty masked as nonchalance. He wanted to steer me away from suspecting anything, make her sound unappealing. He never badmouthed anyone else. Ever. But with her he did. And I didn't question it at the time. I felt physically sick after reading her message. I had spent over 2 years living with a man who could lie straight to my face and still hold me at night, who planned holidays and celebrated birthdays and family dinners with me, all while carrying on something behind my back. And the cherry on top? He tried to bury it all. Tried to make me delete a legal document. Told me it was at the advice of his solicitor, which I now believe was a lie too. If I hadn't read it, if I had just blindly trusted him as he wanted, I would have gone on not knowing. I would have kept building a future with a man who was happy to rewrite the past. In August 2023, I turned 30. It felt like a milestone, not just for me, but for us as a couple. He made the whole month feel magical. Thoughtful surprises, handwritten cards, dinners, and a trip together that made me feel so incredibly seen and celebrated. We returned in early September and, not even a month later, went on another trip together in October. Everything felt so full of love and ease. I felt cherished. Looking back, I think that's what's making all of this so much harder to digest. Because in November, just weeks after that trip, he flew to Amsterdam for work. She was there. And that's when they first slept together. I had no idea, of course. When he returned from that trip, he came back into our home like nothing had happened. Not a single change in his behavior. If anything, he seemed warmer. And then we went to Iceland, a spontaneous mini break he said was just because. He planned the whole thing. I remember walking through snowy streets hand in hand with him, thinking how lucky I was to have a partner who knew me so well. But a week later, he was off to Brussels. She was there again. And they slept together again. Then came New York. I'd wanted to go there for ages, and he made it happen. The trip of a lifetime, just days after sleeping with someone else for the second time. I remember him standing with me in Central Park, smiling while I took photos, saying how happy he was to be there with me, how he couldn't imagine experiencing life with anyone else. Those words meant everything to me at the time. Now they make me physically ill. December rolled around, and she flew in from the US for his company's Christmas party. I remember asking him about it because it seemed odd. I mean, why would she come all the way over just for that? He told me it was because she was helping with some employee training, that it was strictly business. That night, they slept together again. And the next day, he was with me and my family, sitting at the Christmas Eve table, laughing with my nieces and pouring wine for my parents. He brought thoughtful gifts for everyone and played board games into the night. I remember thinking, again, how seamlessly he fit into my life. I felt so lucky. In May 2024, they saw each other again during another work trip, this time to Sydney. She said nothing happened between them physically, but at this point, I don't know what to believe. I've stopped trying to decipher truth from manipulation. All I know is that I was living in what I thought was a completely solid, loving relationship, while he was living a double life. And what really breaks me is this. I'm not naive. I know relationships can be complicated. People make mistakes. Temptation exists. But we didn't have issues, not like this. We weren't disconnected or cold. We weren't unhappy. He constantly told me how content he was, that I was his best friend, his safe space, his future. That I was the person who showed him what love was really supposed to look like after the mess of his first marriage, the one he claimed fell apart because of his own failings. He told me he cheated in that marriage because he was miserable, that he'd learned from it, that he'd never put someone he truly loved through that kind of betrayal again. But he did.
He just did it more quietly this time.
With more planning, more control, more manipulation. We shared a home, a life. We talked about marriage, kids, future plans. We navigated grief together. Illness, career changes. Through every high and every low, I was there for him, and he was there for me, or so I thought. He met every member of my family. They adored him. My friends used to say, "He's one of the good ones." And I believed that. I believed it with every inch of my heart. I think what hurts the most isn't just the betrayal, it's the deception layered over love. The fact that while I was living in the relationship fully, investing every part of myself, he was splitting his affection, lying effortlessly, and then turning around to hold me, kiss me, and tell me I was everything to him. I felt like I'd never really known who he was. That's the thing that kept replaying in my head. How could I have been so wrong about the person I thought I knew better than anyone else? To do what he did to me, not just once, not even just early on, but over and over again, with a woman I had suspected, a woman I had quietly worried about, while still coming home to me, wrapping his arms around me, kissing me like he'd missed me. That's what broke me. He took me away, shared hotel beds, laughed with me over wine, held my hand in public, slept with me, loved me, in all the ways that felt real. All while she was right there in the background and sometimes in the days just before. And I didn't see it. There were no red flags. He was diligent, attentive,
Sweet.
every time he traveled for work. He would call me at night without fail. He'd say, "Good night, baby, miss you," as if that meant something. As if he wasn't climbing into someone else's bed the night before, or maybe even the same night. It wasn't just the betrayal.
It was the skill of the lie.
The way he lived two separate lives and never once slipped. The way he talked about our future, the way we planned our future, and did so while building a double life behind my back. There was no coldness in him, no detachment. He was warm, present, loving. He looked me in the eye and told me I was it for him. In August 2023, I turned 30. He made the entire month feel like a celebration of me. Thoughtful surprises. A trip away. Love notes. Early September, we returned from that trip, and then we went on another in October. I thought we were stronger than ever. I remember thinking, this is it. He's really my person. I'm so lucky. And then came November. He traveled to Amsterdam for work. She was there. That was the first time they slept together. I had no idea. He came home, kissed me hello, and we went to Iceland together. I remember holding his hand as we watched the northern lights, tears in my eyes because I was so overwhelmed with gratitude for the life we were building. A week later, he traveled to Brussels. She was there again. And again, they slept together. I didn't even flinch when he got home. I think we ordered Thai and watched some show on the sofa, wrapped in a blanket. He made me feel loved. In December, she flew to the UK, attended his office Christmas party. He told me it was for work training, something formal. They slept together again that night. Then he came to my family's Christmas Eve meal, smiling and joking with my parents like he hadn't just committed another betrayal. Every memory from those months is now tainted. Every trip, every cuddle, every shared laugh. I look back on them now, and I don't see joy. I see layers of dishonesty built on top of each other. And I can't unsee it. She reached out to me recently. That's how I found out.
She was direct.
She confirmed it all. Amsterdam, Brussels, London. Even mentioned May and Sydney in 2024, though apparently nothing happened then. By that point, maybe he'd already started detaching. Or maybe it just became too risky. When I confronted him, by sending her message, he didn't deny it.
He didn't argue.
He knew. He didn't try to spin it. And weirdly, that was more devastating. No desperation. No scrambling to fix it. Just silence. Because he was away for work, I had to go through this collapse alone. My mom came over, and we packed up everything.
Quietly.
Efficiently. I felt like a robot going through the motions. I moved back to my parents' house that night. One bag of essentials, then more later. I didn't even cry much at first. I felt like my body was protecting me from myself. But then the wave hit. The real grief, the kind that comes from having your entire future ripped out of your hands. We were planning a move to Dubai in 2025. He'd spoken to friends about proposing. I found screenshots on his laptop of rings. We used to dream about our life there, weekend, desert getaways, sunshine all year round, a new adventure together. I believed in all of it. I still remember how we used to look at each other in airports, tired, excited, hand in hand, like we were in our own little world. Now I wonder if he looked at her like that too. I've told one friend. That's all I could handle. People mean well, but I'm not ready for the "you'll get through this, and you deserve better." I know those things logically.
But I don't feel them yet.
Right now, I feel hollow. Like someone carved out the person I was and left behind this fragile, shell-shocked version of me. The hardest part? I still love him. It makes me sick to say it, but it's true. I love the person I thought he was. I loved the life we had. And now that it's gone, I'm grieving like someone died. But no one died. He's still there, living his life, probably still working, maybe even still traveling with her. Meanwhile, I'm starting from zero. The routines we had, the future we planned, the intimacy we shared, it all vanished in a single message. If you're listening this and have gone through something similar, I don't need advice. I don't want answers. I just need to know I'm not the only one who's felt this shattered. I know I'll heal. I know this isn't the end of my story. But right now, I just need space to sit with the wreckage and remind myself that one day, I won't feel like this anymore. For now, I'm just surviving. One morning at a time.